All right, so the next sheet we're going to talk about is the floor plan. I need to start by hiding some items, so I don't want any site items on here, so I'm going to hide that whole category of plantings. I'm going to hide my property line on here. These you do want to keep. Again, you can move these in if you want to tuck these in a little bit, kind of center those around your project. Again, the blue line, when you click on the triangle, is what's going to specify our section view, and that's okay. We can move that later. Once you have your section views made, you don't want to move that around because it is going to change things. But we can move those. You do want to show those on the plan. I still need to do my innermost layer of dimensions and some totals here and there. The innermost string should be, let's see here, we got to get back to annotate. And I might, this string looks pretty good for walls, and I haven't added a lot of windows in here. But we did a wall layer, and then we also did, you also need to do basically your everything layer, which is the one that's closest to the house. So we do we hit the wall and then the center line of doors. We looked at the center line of these interior walls, which I missed when I did the other ones. I'm going to have to go back to wall center lines for these guys here, and then go back to faces of core to get these here. I don't have any other windows on there because my house is not as complete as yours, but everything goes on this this first layer. So I'm going to drop that one there, and then this one, that might look a little nicer, slide out just a little bit, and then we should have a total. Now you have a bunch of section cuts in here. If you're going to use them on the sheet, they're going to show up with a sheet number on here. The ones that don't show up with a sheet number, you can hide later on. So if we don't use this one, we can hide that because that gets a little messy in there. And if we're hiding that, we just want to hide that in view. So select it, right click. Yeah. How do we hide that in view there? There we go. And you want to do the element there. You don't want to delete that. If you delete it, you're going to delete your section view. And then the last thing we need is the outermost dimension, and that needs to go right out there. I'm going to move this 9 up to line up with that one. We do duplicate things in architecture. Now, right now, this is 1/8 inch equals a foot. It's probably going to fit at quarter, which is going to make all the text smaller. So I may end up, moving some things back again. You can put it on a sheet first if you want to see what's going to work for you there. If you haven't already, you may need to click a window and tweak something. I should probably move that 1/4 inch around a little bit. But you want to go around on all 4 sides of your house and do your 3 layers of dimensioning. Again, the innermost is from wall faces of core to center lines of doors and windows, and then center lines of intersecting walls. Everything on that first one, and then second one just stops at the walls. So I should really add in an extra one here. I believe we can do edit witness line, and we should be able to drop in some extra lines here. Now it's not grabbing my center line. Let's see if we can just click there and add them and then tweak them later. Nope. So I'll try, can we bring this back to here? And then we could probably add on to that. I might even just delete this string and start over again. Sometimes that's easier because it does not want to grab. Well, let's go back to wall center lines and see if we can grab that. There we go. And then I'll go back to aligned, and I can grab here to here and just complete that string so that looks correct. Switch this back to faces and drop that in. So that would be complete for one side. You want to work your way around. Now, we also really would have interior dimensions. Any place, door or windows located. You might have a string that runs down a hallway. You should remember that from way back in apartment design. Now, this floor pattern is going to get a little messy. It's going to be hard to read. So this is, again, a visibility and graphic overrides. You find floors, go to patterns, click on the override button, and you turn off the visibility on floor patterns so we don't have to look at those. Now, I've also, I believe, have an underlay right now and I'm looking at some of my basement items. So right now my underlay is set to foundation. I'm going to make that say none, and then you should see the speckling from the basement floor go away. Now we also should have some rooms in here. So if we go to architecture, there is a room tag, and you can drop that in the rooms here. And as long as it's a separated space, like if you want to call this different rooms, I'll show you that in a minute. As long as it's separated, you can drop these tags in there, and then eventually you can make a schedule with it. So, and then you could say, you know, this is, you know, your master bedroom. It'll calculate square footage and all that good stuff. Now, if you want to split this up into different areas, when you're in this, over by these room tools here, there's a room separator. And you can draw in a line that says, okay, well, this is going to separate this space, and then I might say, okay, well, my kitchen's kind of this space, and then I can put in a room tag, hopefully in these 3 separated areas, or you could leave it all as one. That's up to you. But then you want to go through where it says room, you know, and type in what that space is. Okay, so go around and do that. You want to do that first and second floor. We can look at some schedules in a little bit here. You know, I have my kitchen and I have a bathroom in there. I don't have everything fleshed out. I don't need to see furniture and anything, but you should have a bathroom. You should have your kitchen laid out. There's another bathroom that belongs back here, but we're not getting too crazy here. Hide anything that you feel that you don't need. So if, I'm probably not going to use this section right here. I'm going to hide that. Typically we would use the one that goes through the garage. I don't need this little guy back here, so I'll hide that. This one would be helpful because it shows a staircase. This one does show the roof. I have a roof that pitches across there, so we may use all 3 of those. Now you can move that little marker around a little bit. So if I move this head out a little bit, it's going to make that view a little bit longer. If that is something that bothers you, go ahead and do it. But realize that when you click on it, this line represents how long it is. So if I wanted to go all the way through the house for some reason, I could drag this all the way down. This blue box here tells me how deep it's going to go. So if I only want to go to the steps, but I don't want to see the kitchen cabinets, I can go to here. If I want to see everything, I'll pull it back to this point. All right, so if this is all cleaned up, I'm set at 1/4 inch scale here. I'm going to go and create a new sheet for my first floor. So I'll right click on sheets, go to new sheet again. The D horizontal is still loaded, so I'll hit OK. Now I do want to show you back here, if I name this as this is my site plan, and then if I put, you know, your name there, and then if I put, I'm going to say this is lot 56, that's the address I have. When I go to my second sheet, your name, whatever you typed in, and lot 56 should show up, and then this would be, you know, first floor. Now, what's going to show up as a view tag though is level 1. So if you want to change this, you can right click and you can rename that as first floor. And then we're going to say yes, we want to rename. Notice it re-alphabetized itself there. And then I'm going to go to my first floor sheet, zoom out a little bit, scroll up, drag over my first floor. So that comes in pretty large. It looks like I'm probably going to have to rotate, and I think my whole plan would benefit from rotating the sheet. Yours may not be like this, so you may not want to rotate yours. You can, I believe, simply rotate the title block that goes on here, and that should fit a little bit nicer for us. So let's see what we got there. It looks like I need to probably tuck in my dimensions just a little bit. They're a little close to the edge. These floor plan markers are not showing up. Your other option would be very simply, I'm going to take this back. You click on this. This is at 1/4 inch equals a foot. Drop it down to 3/16 or maybe 1/8 inch. Get it to fit on there. Make your life a lot easier since we're not in the room here and can't help you out too much. If you send me your file, if you want to do a quick Google Meet or something, I can help you out. Now, Still having trouble kind of moving this up a little bit there. There we go. Too far. That'll work. This view tag needs to show up on your screen. So this says it's first floor. It tells me it's the scale of the drawing, and it also tells me that it is the only, right now it's view 1 on the sheet. There are times when you have multiple views. Now this line here represents the underscore under the line, under the view there. If you click on the view, you'll get a little dot there. You can trim that up so it looks a little bit nicer. You know, if you need to edit things, you can do it 2 ways. You can go back to the first floor, or while you're on the sheet, so if I'm on first floor, if you click this, you can activate the view. Notice the title block gets gray. You can now work on the sheet, and then when you're all done, you want to, what is that? We want to right click and, what is it? Deactivate view there. That'll take us back. See how the title block got black again, and you can work through there. So if you have a second floor plan, same process, go through, add your dimensions, create a new sheet, drop it on the sheet. But again, we're going to be pretty simple here. Add your view tags in there. Try to do a little bit of a layout. It could even be 2D layout in your kitchen and bathroom. That's fine. All right, so next we'll talk about elevations.